Welcome back to the second hour of the Long Voyage for this week. And when last we left our intrepid mercenary Viking ne'er-do-wells, they were... I was about to say they were getting ready to storm the ramparts, but that's not quite what you had in mind.
No.
Nope.
We rather plan to
Sneak past the ramparts.
yes.
Well,
appeal
we're
to the-
only 5.
Well, 4.
Just make it worse. Why don't you?
We do have a warhammer, so we are 5.
It's not like a demon hammer. It's not like a personality of its own.
Oh.
Could be cool though.
Could be.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Though I would be a little unsettled if my Warhammer started talking to me.
Well, the only way that your Warhammer could start talking to you is if Frothy voluntarily gave up his soul to be put inside the weapon.
That'd be cool.
Couldn't
also
I
be-
just have someone else voluntarily do the same thing?
But then, what future is there in that? Because then they'll never get to go to any form. They'll spend the rest of eternity inside that weapon, which could very easily get lost, or as was left in a dark cave, or dropped to the bottom of the ocean for the rest of time.
No.
And
Silva is gonna pass it down to someone else who's also gonna go around and kill people with it.
that's only we'll see.
So,
Nice.
guys, you walk up to the front gate.
Yeah.
It's in an entirely non-threatening way. Weapons are not drawn. We're all together. We're clearly visible. And
Yeah.
Cinder's even trying to force a constipated sort of smile so he doesn't look too intimidating.
Ew.
You
He's not
get
actually constipated, though.
you get pretty close to the gates, and then somebody up on the what is it called?
That tower.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. The tower over here calls out to you in a sort of halt who goes there sort of way, because cliche.
Typically that we're the ones that they stop and check. It's racist is what it is.
Baggy shouts back, Phalanders returning from the front.
Oh, all right. That's the first time we see your kind around here.
Mm,
Well, you're welcome.
thank you.
They open the doors. I mean, obviously, if you
Baggy
know
whispers
about
to the other.
obviously, if you know about the Phalans, then
We must be them. Baggy whispers to his compatriots. Well, that was easy.
They don't have any reason to think that Karatok has any Southlanders.
Anyway, let's head in and not talk too much. Don't want to arouse suspicion.
Nice. Let's see if they have some place for us to stay for the night.
well, you get in into the village. You see people moving around, doing their normal everyday stuff. You also see the what is it called? I mean, you see locals, basically non-combatants, unarmed civilians moving around.
Mhm.
Not all of them seem to be free. Several of
Not all of
are
them seem to be what?
free.
Free.
Some of them are in chains.
Oh,
I think Baggy walks up to the nearest local, the nearest villager,
Yeah.
and asks, "Who's the commander of this facility?
He
Point me in his direction."
he kind of shrinks under your gaze because oh dear, huge Man Mountain, and he points a shaky finger towards one of the buildings, namely this one. And he's in there. His name is Yarlath. He's the commander of the garrison, sir.
Right. Take us to him.
Yes, sir. He leads you to the building, and there's a couple of guards standing by the door, but they see you guys coming, and then they sort of they cross their spears to bar the doorway, and they say, "So what's your business here?"
We need to talk with your commander.
What about? He says, and one of them sort of gets ready to go inside, and apparently to see if
I don't really see how that's any of your business.
Well-
What I have to say to the commander himself. It's important. I can tell you that much.
right. Oh, I'll see if he's
We
got
have-
time. He goes in, spends a few moments inside. Doesn't take long. Then you hear a a loud roar of an exclaimed curse, I suppose is the best way of putting it. And the soldier comes back out in a hurry. And blushing. And he said, "Well, the the commander is indisposed right now."
Is he shagging some woman?
Yes.
I figured. All right. Well, let him know we want to talk to him as soon as possible.
I did.
All right, and tell us where we might set up camp while we're here.
Sure, he says, and points towards another building, namely this one down here. He says, "That one over there, it's got room."
All right. Well, Baggy turns around and starts heading toward that building.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah. Well, you get over there, and it turns out to be a small but serviceable inn. And there is a man and a woman who are moving around inside. Look like the couple that own the place. They're elderly, and the man is seated behind the a table with some there are a couple of beer barrels and some mugs. He is seated there, and you can tell that he's not going to go very far, seeing as he's only got one leg.
Hey, he can bond with our one-legged friend. Sorry. I'm not saying that out loud. That would be cruel.
Yes. But he does look up and smile and says, "Welcome. You must be Southlanders."
What gave us away?
Well, the size to begin with.
Yes. We are rather large compared to you locals.
Indeed. Please come in, sit down. Food, drink.
Both.
Very well. And the woman brings first the drink, obviously, and then a little later she brings some food.
Cool.
They leave you alone. They don't bother you or anything.
Cool. So here we are then.
You are indeed.
We know where the commander lives. And he says this in Southlander.
Yeah, of course.
We know where the commander lives. Namely the building we stood outside earlier. And we know of this establishment. Have you noticed anything else of import while we've been here?
I don't know if I noticed anything. I forgot to make any checks about it, at least. And I'm saying this out of character because in character
Yeah,
would
of
be
course.
rather stupid.
Well, the most, I wouldn't say important, but the most noticeable thing, as I said, is that there are several, you saw several people, and it's not like you've walked half a mile to get to this building, but you saw several people in chains.
But is that really that strange? It even rhymed.
That's up to you to decide, but that's the only thing you saw that could be out of the ordinary.
No, it's unusual for tier class to be, well, it's unseen for tier class to be here.
We haven't really
Like-
seen any examples of it. Yeah.
You
That's true.
haven't actually noticed. They don't use slaves.
Not really. Which suggests that they're not necessarily slaves. I mean, they might be, or they might be prisoners.
Either.
Depends what they're. Well, I mean, sometimes they, I don't know. We might use prisoners of war for manual labour, but might be. Would certainly be worth asking the commander as to that situation.
Yes. The question is, do we meet with the commander and have an actual conversation with him, or do we do what we do best as soon as we see him?
I think we already suggested that doing so too soon, without a full lay of the, without knowing where.
Right. Well,
sort of our-
we
the
can
barracks
always
and-
we can always get an idea of the place while the commander is busy humping some servant.
I will. I'll get up and do that. Got a good eye for that sort of thing.
All right.
Meanwhile, enjoy the hospitality of those you meet to murder.
Did the slave? No. I wanted to ask, did the slave look tier class? Yeah.
Yes, they were definitely local.
Yes, best keep our voices down anyway, just because someone
Yes.
might speak Southlander for all we know.
Also worth pointing out that there were both men and women among the prisoners that you saw.
Probably.
The chained people.
My bet would be that they are our sword. Our.
Foxman?
I wouldn't mention the name out loud.
No, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. The other sword men probably captured from battle when they took the territory.
Why don't we just ask them?
I don't know if they will be so inclined of us approaching the prisoners of war.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Probably.
We can always apologize, I suppose, if we've crossed some unseen boundary.
Or you could try to intimidate them back. That
Yes. Why don't I go talk to the chained folk and see what's up with that?
Yes.
Right?
you should probably find out also where the if the garrison has a building that they sleep in, or do they
Yes.
they just are spread out around houses?
And I
Because
would,
there's nothing like barricaded door when you have to run out from the fire, do you?
no, that is an excellent idea. Barricade the exits from whatever barracks they have here and burn it. That means a lot less resistance for us in the streets.
Yes.
So, yeah. I suggest you keep that in mind, Sindri, as you scout out the place.
So where the barracks is and where we might find means to bar and set fire to the buildings.
Yes.
All right.
We can also check if they have any storage place. That they might have some.
They have any silver anywhere?
Yes, but silver does not burn.
No, but it can buy lots of ale and food and.
Yes, but let's think about completing first, looting later. Don't don't skin a bear alive, do you?
I've never tried it.
Anyway,
Yes.
I will. Anyone joining me, or am I going alone?
I'll head out as well. I need to talk to some of those chained persons.
Bear in mind, you'll be the one that they come to looking to speak to the commander.
I won't go far. I'll go to the nearest chained man or woman and have a chat.
Good. All right.
They should be able to see me from the commander's building.
If I'm to advise something, I'm sure you've figured this out on your own. But while you're talking to them, pretend to be expecting them like a thing to buy. Would raise suspicion, I think.
Yes, that's true.
And Gilfie's kind of looking with his eyes for a jug of ale or something if they would brought any.
That you can certainly get some more to drink if you want to. That is not a problem. The innkeeper and his wife are more than happy to serve you with additional food and drink.
Yeah.
It's that he's become a tiny drunkard.
Yes, that is it.
We lost our last one. I have to fill the void.
Yes.
All right. Sindri gets up and makes his way out of the inn to start looking around.
Yes. Well, and Baggy was gonna go and talk to some of the prisoners, or how was that? Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Well, let's deal with the scouting first. So, anything in particular that you are looking for?
The barracks, the granaries, other storage for food and liquids,
Yes.
and possibly even if they might even have some medical supplies for all we know.
Yes. Well, you find out that this little house over here, this little building,
Look, hold on. Yep.
is it's a smokehouse where they keep meat, smoked and salted meat. This is a granary, and they have other stores there as well, but grain certainly in this place. It's got it's been dug fairly deeply. You also find that the what are they called? The troops here are quartered in wherever, because none of the buildings are really large enough to serve as a one barracks there are too many of them basically.
So do soldiers basically live with the families then?
Yes, they do. They're quartered with the families.
And they're not the families of the soldiers necessarily.
No. From the looks and sounds of it, you can't be certain, obviously, but they most of the people here, most of the armed men here, at least, don't seem to be local. They're not from the village.
Oh, Yes, of course. So the point is that these are the same locals that sold out the place, the settlement in the first place. Okay, good to know. Okay, so that's fine. No localized barracks. That's a bit of a pest. The fact that the granary is well dug into the ground, it means that it's going to be harder for it to. Might be harder for it to burn down effectively.
Yes.
Okay. No, nothing. A bit of. But then, as well as the still comatose, but suddenly quite helpful Frothy is pointing out in the chat that they might have flour which will just explode like a bomb if we
Yes, exactly.
put a match to it.
Flour, chaff, and the what is it called? Well, flour itself, but certainly the chaff can explode or cause an explosive fire because it'll expand very quickly to be a large area that's on fire. But it's also very, it's very swift. It'll burn out in moments that way. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Any other sources of any other buildings that look like they might be where flammable materials are kept, or where is there a? Oh, yes, that's the thing. Is there an armory anywhere?
No, they don't have a separate armory.
Okay, so we'll just keep
yeah, exactly. Every man, keeps and cares for his own equipment. There is a building down here.
Yeah.
Which is a smithy.
Right. And they'll probably have some weapons. But because this is a local settlement, I imagine a lot of the smithy there will mostly concern themselves with the forging of tools and the like.
Well, that whole part of the of the town down there is newly constructed, so.
Oh, so of course it will be for combat purposes then. All right, fair enough.
Also, this is not a farming settlement, so.
This is a garrison settlement, it
Yes.
seems, and a trading post.
Yes.
All right, good to know that that's there. Smokehouse for smoked meat. That may not burn, but we could certainly use the smoked meat for provisions if we could nick some.
Absolutely, it would be excellent for the journey back, if nothing else.
Yeah. All right, and finally, I'd like to what else would I like to see? I'd like to have a look at the construction quality of the two watchtowers. How sturdy?
They're very sturdy. They're well built. They're solid. They're the beams that they're resting on are dug deep into the ground. They're thick. So yeah.
Is any of the wood or thatch on the top of them whitewashed?
Most of it is. The thatch on top is definitely, it's covered in yeah.
Yep.
Chalk.
Which basically means that it's practically flameproof.
It's going to be difficult, at least, yes, to get that burning.
Well, in that case, yes, it's best then we look at dealing with those in a different way. If we can at least eliminate the people in the watchtowers, then the watchtowers themselves will be quite useless.
Yes.
And besides, if Sindri can get up into a watchtower with his longbow, that would be quite useful as well. And then it would actually be to our advantage that they don't burn down easily. So Sindri will make a note of that. Okay, so he has a good idea where everything, how the soldiers are laid out and what they do.
Indeed.
I think then yes, he'll turn to make his way back to the inn.
Sure. And then we'll pop over to Baggy.
Yep.
You see a group of two men and a woman who are being shoved around by one of the guards, and three other guards are standing close by, laughing at their misfortune.
Baggy heals the guard, pushing them around.
Hey, What's up?
Hey, can I buy those?
Don't really sell people, but
Hmm.
you know, what for?
Are they slaves?
Nah, just prisoners. We don't use slaves. But whatever you call them, they still work for us.
Enemy soldiers?
Well, she certainly wasn't. Women don't fight, except for yours, which is a little strange. But yeah, these two, they just have a problem realizing who the better sword is. That's all.
Ah, yes.
You know,
Yes.
idiot loyalists.
Indeed. So no buying then.
No buying. One of the men actually, who's just been pushed down. He's a younger man. He stands up and growls at the guard who just pushed him and says, "I have no problem seeing who the better sword is, and it's certainly not the coward you serve."
Feisty one, this one, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. The guard says, and smashes the butt of his sword into the chin of this young man. He goes down like a sack of grain.
So if I can't buy one of them, can I at least take this one for a spin? He says and indicates the woman.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll be gentle with her.
If you want to be. It's up to you. Just be aware that, half the men of the garrison have had her already.
Not an issue.
All right, go ahead.
He grabs the chain that's and starts dragging her off.
Yeah, she's almost comatose from trauma. She looks like she's barely there.
He's going to take her somewhere where there aren't any people immediately nearby.
Yes, that would be behind some of the buildings or something, yeah.
Sure. And then he's going to try to calm her down, basically. Shh, be quiet. I have no intention of hurting you.
Right, she says, and starts to lie down.
He grabs her and tries to get her to stand up.
She does. She's completely broken.
How many of you are there here? Loyalists, I mean.
She looks at you with an empty expression. She is totally traumatized.
Yeah. Not going to get anything useful out of her.
No. Baggy sighs, then takes her back to the guard he was speaking to. And she's broken. Won't get anything out of her. What about that one? He says, and indicates the man who was being feisty.
Jesus.
Are you seriously considering taking this guy behind the shed and giving him a once over, or what?
No, I'm considering taking this guy behind the shed and punch some holes in him.
Hey,
I need to let off some steam. It's been a hard day.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. And then he goes not to the same place, but somewhere else.
Yeah. And he's groggy because he's just come back around after having been punched once already.
Yeah. All right. So.
Yeah.
I have no intention of harming you. I need information.
Is this some new trick?
No, it is not.
Listen, I have no reason to trust you.
Oh, you really don't.
I'm not going to tell you anything about about the army. I'm not going to tell you anything about Karatok, man. You might as well beat me up right now if you think you're going to get anything out of me.
You're going to tell me something about this place, these men.
Hmm?
Everything you can tell me.
Look, he says, if I do that, chances are you're going to go back to them and say that I helped you, or that I am trying to get them hurt or killed, and they're going to take my head off.
Sure. That is a possibility. There is also the possibility that I'm telling the truth, and by helping me, you can actually get out of here alive, along with everyone else in chains. What have you got to lose?
My life, to begin with. I might also stay alive by not doing such a thing and waiting for my side to come back here and liberate the place.
We are your side.
Right. He does not look like he's particularly convinced.
No.
You know,
We're-
as far as I
we're
know,
here.
you're Southlanders,
Yes.
and there are Southlanders in
Liam's army, yes.
I saw them when I was captured. They wore gray cloaks. So
Yes.
yeah, I've seen them. For all I know, you could be them.
Yes, for all you do know. Yeah, it's up
You're
to
gonna
you,
have to-
really. It's a gamble. I realize, but again, what do you have to lose? You'll die here. At the speed that these guys are beating you up, you will die before any army reaches you and rescues you. You will die. I guarantee it.
Look, he says, I could do what you're saying. I could. Genuinely, I could. But I'm not being obstinate because of myself alone. As you said yourself, I'm not the only person here in chains, and whenever one of us does something bad, they punish all of us, or at least several of us. So far, since this place was taken, they've killed 14 people that way.
All right.
So
You won't help me now, I take it. That's a shame. Will you at least help us when the killing starts?
He just gives you this look of, you can kind of tell the look just says you don't stop, do you? It's like and he says I'm not going to say or do anything that's going to get me or others like me hurt. You guys have taken this town. I don't have to like it. Currently, you are the only ones here with weapons. And what I'm going to do is stay alive until there's an army on the outside taking this place back.
There isn't.
I would say at this time, Gilfield show up somewhere
sure.
looking for Baggy.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Works.
Yeah.
They can still have the conversation. Just
Yeah,
Baggy.
Sure.
You do find
Go
him
theater.
talking to this man in who's in chains.
How does the guy look?
Beat up?
Beat up. He's bleeding from a fresh, pretty bad punch to the side of his face.
Actually, because Gilfy remembered something. He was like while going find Baggy, he was actually paying attention to the male like prisoners.
Yep. They're
Or
in all shapes
No,
and sizes.
Well, he's curious because he remembered the semi-promise they gave to the old man at the river crossing to look for his son.
Yeah, well, he wasn't that old, the man at the river
Yeah.
crossing, but yeah, you did say that you would. Well,
Yeah, he's just looking around if
Yeah.
there is a chance
no, you
kid
don't
was
see anyone. You don't see anyone, at least not on the way there, who fits the description. But he wasn't supposed to be in chains either. He had been taken as a conscript by Liam's men. But yes, you do find Baggy and his prisoner.
He's like approaching. It's like, so how was it? It probably in Southland.
You'll have to say that again, Brain. I didn't hear it.
Sorry, he is just like, so how is it going?
Oh, just having a friendly conversation.
Stop with your like. I love you. I love all your nice embellishment, too, but not the time.
Well, I'm trying to get some information out of this gentleman, and let's say he thinks we're with them.
Well, that's a fair assumption.
Yes, I suppose. And I've been unable to convince him to help us. But I guess now all that's left is for me to give him a proper beating and drag him back to, just so it looks like I've at least done what I told the others I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he straightens his back and looks,
at
defiant, but yeah.
At least, so maybe so he has something to think about. Maybe at least give him an apology for doing it. Something to think about. Enemies usually don't apologize when they beat you up.
Nope. That's true.
He goes actually like he's trying to while Gilfy goes out first before any beating starts.
Yeah.
And he's just like looking like just like he's just doing this like fake stretching like it's like and goes towards the guard.
Yes. And then in the meantime, behind the shed, Baggy gives the man an apology and beats him up, or how?
Yeah, I really am sorry about this, but it needs to look authentic. And then he gives him a proper walloping.
Yeah, well, he takes the proper walloping pretty well. I mean, you're a much larger person than he is. But he takes it pretty all right, but it doesn't take much before he goes down because he is badly abused as it is.
Yeah. And then he takes him by the collar and drags him out onto the street.
Yeah.
Guard.
Yeah. And in the meantime, Gulfi does find the
Yeah, he probably stands next to him, like cross-handed, like and it's like, so those the men of what's his name was again? The other sword.
Not yours, but the other one, Liam.
Oh, no, I'm asking literally. He asking that to the guard. Like,
sorry.
What was the name of the other one? I don't...
The one we're fighting.
Well, yes.
And that's CharismaToAC.
Okay. I'm still really bad with your name.
Well, feelings mutual, he says in Spanish. You guys have strange names.
In strange ways.
I don't know about your ways. They're not that strange. You're good at killing.
Wolf is good at killing. It's he just looks at the Yes, there's quite a bit of them. Quite a bit of them. Why do you even keep them? Like, why do you not execute them?
Because we need someone to make repairs and, cook the
Well,
food
yeah,
and
but
so on.
yeah, but wouldn't that compromise your they could they they can make a shit
There aren't
job.
that many of them left. There was initially. There isn't that much. There aren't that many of them left now, and we don't let them do repairs on the palisades or anything of the sort. So, it's, we only have
Digging shitholes is necessary
exactly,
too.
and
So how many of them you got? Like, is this all of them? Like he just
No,
point
I
like
think we've
vaguely points hand on
I
the.
think there are 12 left, unless somebody beat one of them to death, or
He just glances at the buggy, probably dragging the other one.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't think you can count this one out yet. I know that too about bruises.
Well, for all I know, Yarlath fucked one of them to death already. But so maybe there's only 11. You never know.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh well.
It's
War
not.
after all.
Well, it's not my problem that they're too stupid to see that they've lost.
I would guess he's probably like longingly looking towards the inn and with all due respect, your ale tastes slightly pissy to me. Like after I tried the oh my god, I still have problem pronouncing this thing.
Wishkava.
Shish kebab. Oh yeah. Yeah.
She said, yes, shish kebab. That would have been perfect.
Oh yeah, that thing. That has some kick to it.
Oh yes.
He's like squint his eyes, like raises his eyebrow.
Yeah.
Just
But we don't have any in we don't have any
Oh.
here in town because, well, Yarlath doesn't want us to be that drunk because then you're not alert and aware and so on. So we don't have any, unfortunately. But I agree with
As
you.
far
It
as
would be nice.
Yeah, as far as I know, commanders, they usually keep their own stash.
He might, but
Yeah, we might pay him a visit then. Maybe we can pry some of him, some from his.
You're welcome to
From-
try. You're
Oh.
welcome to try. He's
Well,
he's not a man to be messed with. And just as you say that, just as you're saying that, you hear there's the gates. There's somebody calls out from the gates and they're opened, and a couple of carts are brought in, and the guard nods and says, "You'll have to excuse me. I have to go and check those."
Don't find anything dangerous. I will not have anyone to drink with.
Nah, I'll be fine. He says, and he heads over
Sure you will.
to the cart. The yeah.
Yeah, when at the end probably he reunites with Baggy at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're heading
bye.
back to the inn, or?
Yeah, I might as well.
He just he's like, well, I think they don't have any Ushkava here, so that's out of the question. Unless the the man on top keeps like a stash of it, then.
Well, we'll find out soon enough, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
What did you? Are we all together again now, or are they just?
No, I
just
think
those?
Ulva wanted to go out and take a look as well.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yeah, it was more of the okay, you're gonna do that, and the awkward point where you have nothing to do and just like I'm gonna scope out the city. That's what I'm gonna do. Yep. Some things. Yep. I'm not completely useless. I
Nope.
can see stuff.
Yes, you go out and take a look around the place as well, and
More like, seeing, well, the palisade is there and there might be a weak point there, or the house is a place like this and best way of spreading a fire would be probably maybe there, and see where things are.
Actually, the best place to start a fire is probably at the inn. It would be most believable, at least, since they have a really large hearth in this place, so that could catch fire pretty easily. Or at the smithy, because embers and stuff.
Would it spread pretty easily throughout the city?
Well, if the wind is right, then sure, because most of all of the houses here are thatched, so yes.
Nice to know. And then just try to get a count on how many of Liam's men she sees and how many chained up people she sees.
Yeah.
Make note of where they, stand guard.
Yeah. Well, you get a pretty good idea about, the number of guards you would estimate. There are probably as many as 50 armed men in town, divided up into several shifts, obviously, but you would guess that that's roughly the number, which is quite a lot for a place this small, but it also means that this is rather strongly held because it's a strong position. It's a
they kind of need to keep it.
Yeah.
So having one that's
but it's
scratching their butt would be a bad idea.
Exactly, but the thing is that a fortress is what's known as a force multiplier, which means that any fortification means that you can you don't need nearly as many people inside the walls as you do outside the walls, because your defensive position is so strong that every man fighting defensively inside the walls will be able to, he will equal quite a number of people on the outside, because high ground, and he can shoot down at an attacking enemy and so on. So it's a very strong position.
Yeah, then it's a good thing we're on the inside right now.
Oh yes, definitely.
Because they might be trying to look at people outside, but yeah.
But it is getting to be fairly late by now, so
yeah. Do they have the stone? What are they called? Fires to keep themselves warm?
Yeah, that's
when they're walking around. Are they stupid enough to actually look at it?
No.
When
they don't carry torches. They don't carry torches.
No, the little braziers they warm themselves up with if it's a cold evening?
Nope.
Okay.
They don't carry any kind of flame at all when they move
There's actually one other thing I've completely forgot to look for, Sindri, that maybe Ulva can look for.
What? Cat, go away.
No, not that.
Sorry.
An alarm system, like a bell or something.
Yeah, she would probably look after that.
You would probably, you would guess that there are probably bells in the towers, if nothing else. You're not sure. You can't see any bells in the streets or anything, but there is like a gong in the up here in the central, which is the marketplace basically. There's a gong there that would presumably easily make enough noise to alert everyone in town, and both of the towers would almost certainly have some kind of bell as well, and they would probably not sound the same. So that if one of them rings, you will easily be able to tell from which side.
Okay. So that would be an idea to fix that as well.
Yes.
So one side doesn't alert the other side and then alerts everyone in the vicinity?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she makes note of that while walking through.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She can't really talk with the people here unless they speak Southland, so she doesn't know what they're saying when she walks by.
No. They do look at her with a mixture of, the unarmed civilians, for the most part, look afraid. And most of the troops look either impressed or confused.
Yeah, it is a woman. She's
Yeah.
fucking tall, and she has a huge ass hammer on her back
Yeah.
and mace at her side.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's armed to the teeth.
Indeed. So.
Well, she doesn't really give them much attention as she
No,
walks
no.
by.
No.
She wouldn't want to give the Phalans a good kind of reputation. Well, when she's seen that, she would probably go back.
Yes. Then, do you guys get some rest, or what do you do? As I said, it's getting late.
Well, if his Nibs doesn't deign to see us this evening, we'll have to wait another day and see what we can manage.
No, he's not coming out to meet you or calling for you or anything of the sort.
Huh.
All right. Well, we know where he is, so
Yeah.
it may not be that big of a deal whether or not he actually meets us. All right. Well, we might as well then get some rest and talk plans.
Yep. There are no actual, distinct rooms in the inn. There's, people sleep on the benches and so on around the hearth in the evening. The only room here is up on the under the roof, and that belongs to the owner and his wife. And for him to get up there is kind of problematic, you can tell, because, one leg.
Yep. Well, let's see. Let's get a bit of rest and then.
Yeah. Well, next morning then, bright and early, you see, the sun rises and the cockerel is crowing somewhere, cock-a-doodle fut, and
What?
Fut-cadoodle cock. It's the dyslexic cockerel from one of Terry Pratchett's books.
Oh, right, okay.
Cyril, its name is. And Death tells it to, it basically Death gets so fed up with with this thing. It's Reaper Man, I believe it's in.
Yes.
He gets so fed up with this thing not being able to crow properly that he instructs the chicken to, he writes down cock-a-doodle-doo and places it in front of the chicken, and as it says, somewhere in his tiny chicken brain, Cyril realized he'd better learn to read fast. Yes.
Poor rooster.
Yes. Fut-cadoodle cock.
Sounds so dirty.
It really does. He you get out or get up and start moving around, and there's some breakfast being served as well. Some porridge of some kind. You can see there are already soldiers moving around outside. Looks like it's the night shift, basically heading back to get some rest. There are already new people, patrolling and so on. You can also see up on the up by the providing you leave, of course, the inn at some point. But you see a man on the marketplace who seems to be in command, who's giving out orders to a few people. He's the kind of man who's easier to jump over than he is to walk around, because he is that wide.
Oh dear.
He's also, from the looks of it, pretty much all muscle.
Okay, so he's a sumo wrestler then.
He's got a low brow and an underbite that probably means that he would have he would be in severe danger of drowning in heavy rainfall.
Well, at least we know what part of him to aim for if we're trying to,
Yes.
It's just
Yeah!
try and knock it off. Or,
I appear to have shat in my mouth.
Ugh.
I couldn't help myself.
I think we need to take a break on that mental
Yes,
image.
yes, we do. It's time for break number 2, and then we'll be right back with the
Don't say
final-
number 2 either. Oh, you're just cut the break already.
And then we will be right back with the final hour of the Long Voyage for this week.